The Toy Story Saga, a revolutionary change to animated movies and an inspiration to how animated movies are made today. Not only was it the first major feature-length 3D animated film, but it also kickstarted Pixar's amazing run of great movies, which included 3 more Toy Story installments. Now today, I will not be reviewing each of the movies or discussing them in depth, although I would love to spend an entire review ripping into my disappointments with the 4th movie, but rather I will be ranking every single character from all 4 Toy Story movies. Yes, I said it, every single character. If you've seen one of my ranking videos before, then you'll know that every character listed in the end credits will be on this list. And with the Toy Story franchise, there's 2 or 3 extra characters that are not listed in the credits, but definitely worthy enough to deserve a ranking. So I will be ranking all 70 characters from worst to best. Between our beloved toys, humans, animals, and even eating utensils, let's jump in and decide who ranks supreme in our world of possessed toys. 70. Kaboom TV Announcer. Nothing special at all, just an announcer for Keanu Reeves' character. 69. Harmony's mom. The mother of this jerk of a kid. Where else do kids learn it from, folks? 68. Miss Wendy. She's nice and all, but obviously young and oblivious to the fact that this little girl is struggling on her first day. 67. Karen Beverly. Her character is somewhat a funny gag for half a second, and that's about it. 66. Carl Rhinoceros. One of Bonnie's forgotten toys. Doesn't say much on screen. 65. Bitey White. Bonnie still has her infant chew toy in her closet. 64. Maleficent Brooks. In a comedic way, makes Woody feel awkward when he starts collecting dust. 63. Cheryl Burnett. Bonnie's toddler chair. Seems like a naive yet hopeful stool. 62. Old Timer. The only one of the toys in this closet, besides Woody himself, who actually has a few lines and gets a decent chuckle from its audience. 61. Harmony. I'm sure she's a very sweet girl, but she'll never be on the status of Bonnie and Andy because she's such a toy rejecter. 60. Axel the Carny. Perfectly portrays that young adult who feels obligated to have even the slightest bit of responsibility in their life. 59. Sparks. Doesn't say much at all, but is part of the cool gang having fun up in the vending machine. 58. Lost Girl. Everyone can empathize with this sad girl who is scared and lost. We're all happy to see she mustered the courage to seek help and find her parents. 57. Chunk. Also part of the cool gang who has a change of heart in the end. Or would it be a change of a microchip? 56. Stretch. When it comes to the bad boys, Stretch is a bit on the intimidating side, one you don't want to cross paths with, but is redeemed for letting our little gang of toys go. 55. Twitch. Just a cool little guy, a bit smug and the first to volunteer taking turns at the end. 54. Billy, Goat, and Gruff. Bo Peep's sheep. Who would Bo Peep be without her beloved sheep? 53. Bonnie's dad. While Toy Story 4 lacks legitimate humor, it's quite hilarious seeing this dad's frustrations and confusion with the camper van. 52. Margaret. A kind and delicate old lady who runs this quaint little toy shop. 51. Gabby. Perhaps a bit controversial with how low she ranks. I never agreed with her perspective that Woody should give up his precious voice box to her because he's already had a wonderful life and she hasn't. Not a fan of playing the victim card. Additionally, she is a villain. Don't let her kind smile fool you. She's been preying on others to better her circumstances, and regardless of how honest the motive may be or how unfortunate her situation is, actively trying to dissect another toy for parts is a bit messed up to say the least. However, I am honestly pleased to see that she finally did end up with a child who allowed her dreams to come true. 50. Frog. This dude is just loving life, no matter how messed up his circumstance may be. Gabby could learn a lesson or two from him. 49. Peas in a pod. Nothing too special about them other than they seem like innocent and cute little peas in a pod. 48. Bunny. Has a few moments of humor, but definitely the least funny of this dynamic duo. 47. TV Announcer. This announcer should have been a real announcer for kids' toys. I've never seen a commercial that had a more passionate and intense announcer. 46. Bonnie's mom. Seems like a nice lady, works at a daycare center, and given that she raised a lovely and sweet little girl, she's got to be a good mom. 45. Forky. Another potentially controversial ranking with how low he ranks, but honestly, the only quality about him that's captivating is how he has a few moments of decent humor. Other than this, there's nothing really truly special about him. He's way overrated in my opinion, and I personally think Toy Story failed in trying to get his importance in Bonnie's life to resonate with the audience. Yes, he does have a few comedic moments here and there, but other than that, he's just that project from school that ends up in the trash within a week or two. 44. Duke Kaboom. Like many toys on this list, he was rejected by his kid at one point and worked to overcome that. Heroically, he finally regains confidence in himself. 43. Dolly. Sort of like the mom figure at Bonnie's house that keeps everyone calm, everyone respects, and everyone listens to. 42. Giggle McDimples. Bo Peep's little sidekick who also has a few moments of humor and adds a different dynamic to the movie. 41. Chatter Telephone. The only toy who knows what's up at Sunnyside and who warns Woody of the horrors taking place. If he didn't rat out Woody and his gang, he'd probably rank way higher. 40. Ducky. If you couldn't tell by now, I don't think very highly of Toy Story 4 at all. Ducky is the only redeeming quality about Toy Story 4 because his humor is relatable, clever, and witty. In a movie that is quite dark and depressing with random humor throughout to try and convince us that this is a movie for kids, Ducky is the only character that consistently delivers in humor. 39. Bookworm. An excellent name for a character, very intelligent, and his rolling of the eyes believing that Ken is having some sort of a strange fetish is quite hilarious. 38. Dummies. Thanks to the Twilight Zone, dummies are terrifying for all of us. These dummies are clumsy, scary, and yet there's a somewhat silly and comedic and captivating quality about them as well. 37. The Cleaner, or Jerry. He helped us feel relaxed and put us to sleep long before ASMR was a thing. An excellent chess player and a toy repairer. 36. Mr. Pricklepants. Leave it to Pricklepants to always be in character and to truly embrace any role Bonnie has for him. 35. Buttercup. Another version of Ham's sense of humor, Buttercup is another great addition to our gang of toys. 34. Big Baby. Similar to the dummies, Big Baby is terrifying, but also adds humor because we as an audience can't help but laugh that this baby doll is the force no one wants to mess with. 33. Combat Carls. One of the few genius ideas in Toy Story 4. The Combat Carls add a good bit of humor. Poor guy on the end was always left hanging though. 32. Wheezy. Part of me is annoyed by Wheezy because he's the reason Woody was kidnapped in the first place. But another part of me finds his blooper reel of getting absolutely whacked in the face the most hilarious part of the entire movie. 31. Trixie. We all love this bashful dinosaur who really makes everyone she meets feel a little bit happier than they were before. 30. Chuckles, the narrator of the dark and sad backstory of our antagonist in the third film. Chuckles is that toy who experienced tragedy, but yet we're happy he finally found a good home in the end again. 29. Hannah. As Sid's younger sister, she has to endure and suffer through all the torment Sid throws her way. Yet, she still has moments of experiencing happiness and finally gets some payback. 28. Molly. A perfect portrayal of every brother's annoying little sister. Always sticking her nose where it doesn't belong, getting into your things, and fully aware that she's getting under your skin. Honestly, reminds me a bit of my younger sister, so perhaps that's why she's not ranked super low. 27. Lenny. He's everyone's eyes when they need better vision and just a cute little toy that we often forget about but have a tender spot for. 26. Scud. They do a great job at making Scud absolutely terrifying. He barks a lot, destroys toys, and causes this multi-car accident. He's just that pest that keeps foiling all of Woody and Buzz's plans, making him a wonderful addition to the first movie. 25. Sergeant. Does anyone else have fond memories of these little green army men? I swear it's because of the Sergeant that I spent hours playing with these toys as a kid in the backyard. A good character who rejuvenated everyone's love for this toy. 24. Bo Peep. Okay, if this were a ranking that omitted the fourth film entirely, she'd rank way higher. But her personality and the complete 180-degree change she has in the fourth film is quite off-putting. Always wanting to assert dominance, never really listening to Woody, and just a bit annoying. That being said, she's just a gem in the first two movies who gives great insight and comfort to Woody when he needs it. 23. Lotso. Why is he ranked higher than others? Because he's a great villain, and without him, we wouldn't have the amazing plot of the third film. Once we discover his true nature, he immediately becomes frightening and intimidating. While his backstory has depth to his character, I do feel that overall, his personality and the way he carries himself is a bit boring. 22. Buster. Honestly, just a loyal, intelligent, cute, and friendly dog. The one we all wish we had. 21. Mrs. Potato Head. For the most part, I find her obnoxious, but her character makes Mr. Potato Head's character in action so much more comedic and way more relatable. 20. Zurg. The evil emperor whose sole purpose, it seems, is to destroy Buzz Lightyear. The entire sequence with this other Buzz and them fighting on the elevator, completely ignorant of the fact that they're toys, is perhaps the funniest bit of the entire second movie. 19. Spanish Buzz. Yes, technically the same character, but also technically different. While the normal Buzz is a bit shy and awkward in expressing his feelings to Jessie, Spanish Buzz has no filter, doesn't hold back, and makes it known to everyone that Jessie is his and no one else's. He adds a unique and fresh flavor to the third installment. 18. Ken. So much about him is downright hilarious. Between his love of clothing, his groovy attitude, and how harsh he is at times, and his chemistry with Barbie, it's all just so laughable and so clever. 17. Anti-gravity Buzz Belt. Unlike Spanish Buzz, this is an entirely different character. Anti-grav belt Buzz is again completely ignorant that he's a toy and absolutely believes he's a hero of the galaxy. He reminds us of how silly Buzz's ignorance was in the first film, and in my opinion just elevates his ignorance to an entirely different level, putting everyone in danger. No matter how many times we see this film, this character always gets a laugh or two out of us. 16. Aliens. These cute little aliens are now iconic. They're so innocent, mean no harm, are completely obsessed with claws, and have earned their way into our hearts. 15. Bonnie. Just a sweet and innocent girl who loves her toys so much, maybe even more than Andy ever did. Throughout the third film, we keep wondering how our beloved toys can ever find a truly joyful period of their lives again. And then, Bonnie comes our way to continue taking care of Woody, Buzz, and the rest of the gang. 14. Barbie. The reason why Barbie is so loved isn't just because she rocks those leg warmers like it's the 1980s, but because she's got brains, she's brave, and surprisingly ruthless when she needs to be. And her interactions with Ken absolutely are just pure comedy gold. 13. Al McWiggin. If we're being honest, these types of characters in real life are the ones we cannot stand. But in Toy Story 2, his selfishness, unhealthy lifestyle, and unrealistic demands bring so much comedy to the screen. 12. The Prospector. The older I've gotten, the more I felt bad for the Prospector. Now, to be clear, he's a bad guy for sure, and he gets pretty dark, not excusing his behaviors by any means. But you can't help but feel some sort of sadness and empathy for his lifelong experience of never being played with and spending countless days collecting dust on a shelf while other toys were being sold. Again, does this excuse his actions? Absolutely not. When he starts going into revenge mode, he's a threat you do not want to mess with. 11. Sid. Just like the Prospector, the older I've gotten, the more I've actually loved Sid. Look at him from the lens of an adult now. Sure, he can be a bit obnoxious, is a bit of a terror to his younger sister, and is very reckless. On the other hand, however, he's a kid who likes to be outside, experiment with toys, and engages in lots of pretend play. When looking at his actions through the lens of a toy, yeah, he's pretty much the devil himself. But when looking at him through the lens of an adult, he's exploring his environment and the world around him. Now, I wouldn't want him as my kid personally because there's a lot of maladaptive behavior there, but he really doesn't seem like a completely terrible kid. 10. Andy's mom. Michael Scott's favorite character. In all seriousness though, for her to raise a lovely and kind young man in Andy without a father present is a near impossible feat. The choice to make Andy's mom a single parent is a unique choice for Disney back in the early days of Pixar, but one that has resonated with other single parents and helps us as an audience gain much more respect for her. She's kind, stern when she needs to be, patient, loving, and without her, Andy wouldn't be the wonderful person he ends up growing to be. 9. Slinky. Like many of the toys and characters on this list, Slinky is that innocent companion who is always willing and ready to do the impossible task. He is also quite useful and has many talents that the gang relies on. Between Woody and Buzz holding onto the truck for dear life, helping the toys get down from the house quickly and safely, and restraining what they believe to be enemies to Woody, Slinky is perhaps the most useful of all the toys we see. Additionally, the way he totally sucks up to Woody in the first film is comedy gold. 8. Jessie. Yes, the yodeling and acrobatic cowgirl earns the number 8 spot here. When we're first introduced to Jessie, she may come across as annoying and unnecessarily upset and angry with Woody, but as we learn about her tragic and heart-wrenching backstory, we immediately feel for her and completely understand where she's coming from. Thankfully, she mustered up the courage to be accepted again by another kid and found joy with her new life. And another trait that I really respect about her is that she is one of the few characters who shoots it straight with Woody when he struggles to accept their reality of their ever-changing changing circumstances. She's full of energy, a loyal, realistic friend, and a great addition to the Roundup gang. 7. Bullseye. Oh, Bullseye, we absolutely love him. When it comes to the toys in the entire franchise, one can find faults or annoyances with every single toy, but not Bullseye. Think about it. Bullseye is just a fun, sweet, gentle, playful, and innocent little plush horse doll that always just wants everyone to be happy. And let's be honest, Bullseye running like the wind to save Jessie pumps you up a little bit as well, as he's able to keep up with a plane that's taking off. No one is more loyal to Woody and Jessie than our beloved little horse. 6. Mr. Potato Head. Now we're getting to the characters who actually bring consistent comedy to our movies. Leave it to Mr. Potato Head to make a snide remark, an immature gesture, or dish out an insult to other toys to make us laugh. Now, being humorous isn't the only good quality about him. He is one of the heroic toys that treks across the city to save Woody, a former enemy, risks his life to save our little alien toys, and takes one for the team, spending a night in the sandbox full of Lincoln Logs. Yeah, let's keep saying they were Lincoln Logs. What I'm getting at here, though, is that while he is cynical and always looking to make fun of others for a good joke, deep down, he actually does care about other toys and won't stop at anything to help his friends. 5. Andy. Andy the kid is adorable. He loves his toys so much, has a great imagination, and is a kind son and loving older brother to his baby sister. But we really get to see the best of Andy when he's a young adult getting ready for college. Yes, he banters and gets annoyed with his now tween sister, who wouldn't? And yes, he now gets annoyed by his mother. Again, a pretty typical behavior at this age. But we also see how courteous, kind, and fun he still is. He's polite to Bonnie's mother and doesn't seem embarrassed, too cool, or too old enough to spend a few minutes playing toys with a little girl, completely making her day. When Andy drives away for the last time, we as an audience are sad and gutted too. Not because we won't be seeing our friendly toys again, their story continues in shorts and an entire new film. But we're in tears because, like our gang of toys, we sadly have to say goodbye to our kid, now a young adult moving on with life. 4. Ham. In all honesty, I struggled in deciding who ranked higher between our two comedians, Ham and Mr. Potato Head. Ham takes a cake here though, because while his comedic insults aren't as numerous as Mr. Potato Head's, his humor is far more cynical, and he is the walking encyclopedia. If you've never noticed before, watch the movies again and catch the number of times Ham just reads out random facts to us. Between knowing the number of registered cars in their city, stating the strength of the garbage bag they're stuck in moments before their doom, and making a comment about a car's mileage in the middle of a chaotic chase, Ham is Mr. Knowledgeable. Additionally, he just has a very dry sense of humor, which gets even more funny as he and Mr. Potato Head interact with each other. 3. Rex. Our innocent, tender, and kind T-Rex. A genius move by the creators of Pixar to make what is supposed to be the most dangerous dinosaur ever to walk the earth be the most timid, anxious, and self-doubting, oblivious, and gentle character from all the movies. His anxiety creates funny moments for us, his clumsiness gets others into trouble and also saves the day, and his obliviousness wrecks things for others. And while all these traits of his just create hilarious scenarios which makes us all laugh, the true reason Rex ranks so high on this list is because, similar to Bullseye, he doesn't have a bad bone in his body. But seriously, think about it. Not once does he intentionally harm someone or hurt someone's feelings. While his anxiety probably hinders his ability to really enjoy himself all the time, his innocence and kind heart makes him such a gentle toy we all respect and love. 2. Woody, the leader of the Roundup gang. Woody is an interesting character because while he is our main protagonist throughout all the films, he's not always nice, kind, and thoughtful, patient, and a loving character like so many of our other toys we've discussed. Woody actually has a lot of flaws. He is sometimes very selfish, holds grudges, gets jealous, and gets angry easily. His absolute love and yearning to be Andy's toy sometimes gets in the way of enjoying life with others. However, he eventually is able to overcome all these flaws and does come to realize that while Andy will always and forever be his kid, it's okay to let go and open yourself up to building relationships with others. No one can surpass Woody in his loyalty, perhaps the strongest quality of his. And Woody understands his purpose of a toy more than any other toy, and that is to be there for your kid. He's always there for Andy, always there for Bonnie, and when he's no longer needed in that exact moment, he's always there to make sure his kid has what they need to be happy. And I must say, Woody's annoyance with Buzz in the first film is so relatable and absolutely hilarious. 1. Buzz Lightyear. It was a difficult decision deciding which of our two protagonists would make it to the top of the list, but ultimately Buzz won out because Woody just gets so caught up in being extremely loyal to his kid that it causes his worst traits to come out. Buzz is also very loyal but realistic with his situation and expectations. Now, first off, ignorant Buzz from the first movie is once again just absolute comedy gold. Between his extreme dedication to his duty as a space ranger, his ignorance of being a toy, and his brain snapping once he discovers the truth, Buzz will always get a laugh from you. While he's at his most funny before accepting the truth that he's a toy, we see the best traits of Buzz hereafter. He maintains his heroism, his courage, and athleticism, but also acquires new traits such as empathy, kindness, compassion, and loyalty to his best friend, Woody. He's a great example that going through difficult times of doubt, sadness, and just hardships can actually end up making you a better person in the end. Time and time again after this, Buzz goes out of his way to save and help other toys. Not just because it's his Space Ranger duty, but because he cares for them. Who knew that this Space Ranger Buzz would become more of a hero once he discovered he was not actually a superhero? Well, there you have it. Every single character from the Toy Story franchise ranked. As usual, I'm sure there's some disagreement and some agreement as well, so feel free to leave a like, dislike the video, or leave a comment on what your thoughts are or who your favorite character is from the Toy Story saga. If you'd like to see characters from another movie franchise or even a TV show to be ranked in the future, leave a comment on what show or movie and we'll be sure to add that to the list. And lastly, if you enjoyed these videos, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel grow and also helps you get notified more quickly when I release a new video. Anyways, if you made it this far, thank you again for sticking around to the end and for sticking around for another Two True SMEG review. Until next time.